this video, we are talking about the fastest way to sign 5 to 15 clients per month. Any sort of service-based business, whether that's an agency, coaching program, info product, does not matter. And we're going to be talking about the systems behind over 400 plus clients who have done that similar thing. So pretty much before we get into it, who am I? My name is Leo Moore. I run a company called Sophron Solutions, which is basically a paid ad agency where we run Meta and Facebook ads for service-based businesses. Then I go ahead and make content on YouTube and Instagram based on the best things that we're doing at any given time, documenting what's working for ourselves and clients and basically telling you what's not working so that you can then replicate those same results. And you can find a link to any of our offers in the description: free ads training, paid ads done for you, paid ads done with you. That is all available there, all in the hopes of getting results like this where we're generating about 300 grand from a 3x ROAS. So in this video, we're covering pretty much the only stuff you need to do to start signing 5 to 15 clients a month. And the reason being we say 15 is because this is a fairly ideal number to start with before you have to start scaling your operations at a pretty, exceedingly difficult rate. So if you don't have 5 to 15 clients coming in per month consistently, this is the first milestone that you want to start hitting before you're really doing anything else. And the reason for that, again, is because if you have a decent enough LTV, if you're going to sign 15 high ticket clients a month, that's going to net you an extra 30 to 100 grand a month. And based on that, that really provides like the foundation and the baseline for you to be able to essentially go out and grow even more. So just as another little bit of proof here, we have a guy that we work with who is signing 80K a month for the last 2 months in a row, and he's about to hit $1 million a month not too long from now. So pretty much in terms of the fundamentals you're going to need to know before we even get into the real beef of the video and in terms of the meat and potatoes, there's 2 ways that you can get basically growth. You can get more customers, you can get more clients, or you can make more per client or per customer and make them worth more to you. So basically making more profit per customer. In most cases below a few million a year in revenue, which I imagine most of you are, your problem is that you are not getting enough leads and enough new customers or enough new deals to basically start generating that amount of revenue. And as a result, most of the time, what you should be focusing on in terms of your energy, your money, your resources, whatever, should be allocated towards solving that problem of not having enough inflow. That is something you need to know. If something is your biggest problem, that is where most of your focus needs to be going towards. So for example, if you are already signing 15 clients per month, but maybe you're not making the amount of money that you want to be making, you need to think, should I get more customers or should I make these customers that I'm already getting worth more to me? And that is the basic fundamental that we're looking at. If you want to grow, it's do I need more customers or do I need to make more per customer? That's basically it. If you are constantly bottlenecked around fulfillment in this stage, or you are focusing on things that basically don't matter, that is likely why you are stuck below 100K a month, because you're just focusing on the wrong things and you're not able to break through. So just as an example, we have Milan who signs 14 clients a month. We have Angus here who does a similar thing. We also have another client who we didn't name in that video who's basically making 180K per month just from paid ads. And the reason is because once you have a steady flow of leads, that is then when you can go and optimize pricing, fulfillment, whatever, because you're coming from that place of abundance. And when you're shitting yourself because you're getting a negative Slack message, or you're shitting yourself because you're onboarding new clients all the time, that is going to make it very hard to be productive, and it is going to make it hard to grow. And that is just kind of a brutal truth that we need to look at. Next up, we need to understand the methods of getting new customers. So we're going to say, okay, I understand it, I get it, I need new customers, whatever, how do I do it? Here are your options. You have outbound, you have content, you have paid ads, and you have partnerships. If you follow the channel, you might have seen this graphic right here, which basically shows you the full marketing funnel. But let me just provide some focus for you, because you don't always need something as complex as what I'm showing in this graphic. Sometimes you can make it a little bit more efficient, a little bit easier for you to get started and start signing those 5 to 15 clients a month. So here's what I recommend based on what's worked for us. First off, getting outbound to work at scale is very, very hard, aside from if your offer is set up for it. This is a real fundamental. For example, if you're selling into large organizations in very specific industries with a very specific offer, then outbound will be your best friend and you will go absolutely crazy with it. However, if you are selling a regular marketing agency offer or any sort of B2C coaching offer, or really anything that's kind of coaching based, you're going to have a very, very tough time selling anything with outbound. Literally, the amount of times I hear people who run an agency and they say, yeah, well, we grew to 100K a month, or we grew to 200K a month using outbound, and now it's just not been working for the last 12 months, and we haven't done anything differently because we've been trying to get outbound to work. Let me just tell you, in most cases in 2025, outbound is just so fucking hard to get it to work that it's just a complete waste of time. And that is the least bullshit answer that I could possibly give you. Yes, in some cases, it's going to absolutely crush. But in many cases, you might get leads, you might get some interest from outbound. But in terms of actually generating a consistent flow of clients, it is very, very difficult to do, mainly because of all the technicalities and all the fuckery that goes on with outbound itself. So for example, let's say you do have your outbound working, and then on month 2, all your domains go to shit, and then you're wondering, oh, well, now I need to restart my domains, I need to get new scripts, get a new lead list, all that stuff. And that kind of consistent admin that's required eventually just sets you back a month, like every 3 months. So one every 3 months you get set back, and then you might get nuked by Outlook, or the deliverability goes to shit, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, well, what am I even meant to do? That is why you don't rely on outbound too much in 2025, because it is just really difficult. Again, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but it is very difficult. If you are going to consistently sign 15 clients per month from outbound, you are an outlier, pretty much. You are not a regular person. Most people are not doing that these days, and that's just based off what I'm seeing out there in the market. So sorry to tell you, maybe that's a limiting belief from me, but I've just seen this so consistently that I believe it to be true. Next, we have content. Now, with content specifically, you need to understand that there's two buckets of people here. One is you do have the ability to drive 100,000 targeted views per month. The other is that you do not have the ability to drive 100,000 plus targeted views per month. Bucket number 1, a good example is one of my old clients, Max Sturdivant. If that is you, content will absolutely carry your entire business, and you will scale to new heights very, very quickly. And you should spend a lot of your time doubling down on content. So for example, Max here, he's got about 45,000 followers on Instagram. Right when he started popping off on Instagram was when he became a client, I believe. So he was at like $30,000 a month. Now he's doing multiple million per year. He is absolutely crushing it because he is that beast at organic content. However, the reality is for 99% of you, you are not in bucket number 1, and you are not going to drive 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 plus views per month on business-based content or problem-based content that appeals to your ideal customers. Reason why is because Max is a really, really good content creator. And when it comes to selling to businesses, there are not many people that are able to get views on that style of content. It's a very difficult thing to do for a lot of people. Max, in his case, was also one of the first to kind of crack it, quote unquote, for his service on both YouTube and Instagram. So he was not only extremely talented, but he is also a first mover. And it's not realistic for most people. So what you need to know is that for most high ticket service providers, your views organically are going to look pretty terrible. And that's even the case for me as well. Like you can see here, this video got 500 views, but it printed a good amount of cash flow. So what you need to know is that you just can't rely on that amount of traffic to grow. Yes, these videos that get 500, 1,000 views, whatever, they will make you money, but it is not enough traffic to grow really consistently, because you're not basically just getting enough eyeballs just at a pure numbers standpoint. And then the other thing is that when you're making this content, a very small percentage of the eyeballs that you get are going to be qualified to buy right now. So if you're trying to book a shit ton of sales calls, you're going to need to drive so many new views, understanding that it is a small percentage of those views that are going to be actually qualified. So if you get 500 views and 1% of those views are qualified, you're not really getting, like, nothing's actually occurring. Like, yeah, you're nurturing your leads, but there's no traffic. So here's what you need to understand. If you're in bucket number 2, which is where you basically can't drive, or you're not that you can't, but you're not driving enough views from your organic content, you need to understand, instead of just trying to get your content to work better and just getting unqualified leads from content, getting no views, and really no one knows who you are still, you need to understand, okay, I'm in bucket 2, what do I do? So now, if you're in bucket 2, simply put, you need to run ads. It is somewhat optional to run ads if you're in bucket number 1. It is not optional for group number 2. Reason being, bucket number 1, you get enough traffic that even with a low percentage of qualified eyeballs, you are going to get tons and tons of clients. You'll make a ton more money if you run paid ads alongside your content, but that's optional and only if you want to scale faster. So for example, in Max's case, he's already signing so many clients, he doesn't even care if he runs paid ads. Yeah, he might run some retargeting, but it's not a huge priority for the business. Bucket number 2, your content is going to progress so slowly that you won't be generating enough income and new leads that are qualified via your content, and you will be discovered by new leads at such a slow rate that it will feel and it will be as if you were doing nothing. So you're wasting all your time on this content, which is getting you no money. So what's the solution? Continue making your content, but treat your content as if you are producing sales assets. That means you don't need high production, you don't need anything fancy. Basically just show your proof, show your expertise, handle objections, and be okay with getting low views. Because when you run paid ads, that is going to generate the traffic that you're going to basically use to flood toward content. In those cases, all you need is 1 to 2 YouTube videos per week. You need 4 to 7 Instagram reels per week, cross-posted to Facebook. You need 2 to 5 email newsletters per week, and you need a 30-day welcome flow sending out your best sales assets. Now, if you don't run ads, pretty much useless, because no one's going to be seeing your stuff. Like, you might make some YouTube videos to a small audience, and yes, don't get me wrong, that can make money, that can generate revenue, but it is going to happen so slowly that you're not going to grow quick enough, and you're not going to sign 15 clients a month. And I will tell you that for free. But when you do run paid ads and you drive traffic to a funnel that has that deep of a nurturing sequence in terms of content, email, everything reels, your lead will convert 2 to 5 times cheaper than otherwise. So get it done. It is really, really important. Trust me, this is one of the biggest and most important things you can do if you are not signing this amount of clients per month. Next up, we have paid ads. Pretty much in most cases that I've seen across all of my clients, paid ads is the mechanism that gets you from 40 to 70K months to 6-figure months and beyond, and multiple 6 figures per month. When you're stuck below 100K a month, it's usually because your lead flow is inconsistent and you're not driving enough new business to basically break through that revenue range. Because obviously within that time frame, you're kind of squeezed within fulfillment. You're kind of running out of time. And that is a period where you need more leverage. And that leverage comes from generating leads that then gives you an ability to have abundance with the deals that you take on, which then allows you to raise your prices, which then allows you to get better clients, which then allows you to get better results. And those results allow you to get better leads. So as a result, when you don't have leads in this phase and when you're really bottlenecked in fulfillment, essentially what happens is you get stuck in this cycle where your revenue is going up and down and up and down within that kind of phase of like 40 to 70K per month-ish. And you need to know you will be in that purgatory unless you make a dramatic change, which comes from generating enough leads to where you can actually make money. This also happens in terms of like this phase between like 100 to 300K per month. Like you're always kind of in these fluctuatory periods. However, once you're above 6 figures per month, usually you have the resources to basically fix that problem a little bit faster than when you're between 40 and 70K per month. Because when you're in that below 6 figure per month range, a lot of times you're just afraid. Like you're afraid of what's going to happen if I waste money on ads, if I waste money on this service provider. And it kind of makes you constrict a little bit more. Compare that to when you're in the multiple 7 figures per year range. It's a little bit easier to go ahead and just say, okay, I need to run ads. Let me just go run ads. Just basically saying that so you can keep it in mind. As an example, we've had clients come to us who make about $200,000 a month who've gotten there organically. And in those cases, it's really straightforward. Like I said, like you basically say, okay, I'm going to spend this much. This is what I want to do to run ads. And you just have to put your resources in the right places. And then if we're talking about that, like, right, okay, I'm at 50K a month, I'm at 100K a month, I'm at 200, 300K a month, whatever. And I want to start running ads. The exact strategy that you deploy, like the next steps there, is going to depend on your market and your target customers. But I will give you a simple roadmap to get going within this video. Number one is your financial model. So you really want to figure out what your KPIs are based on your LTV and target market. But this is just going to make you, help you make decisions as fast as possible. And you're going to want to go with that. In terms of the offer, low ticket is crushing right now. So paid downloads, resources, whatever. Lower price point and upselling. So crushing. Lead magnets are okay. But what I would say about lead magnets is you need to make sure that it's going to attract the right customer. But if you just give away like a killer ass for a download, what are you going to do? Just get like freebie downloaders. And then look at what the thing that I'm giving away free. Don't have the leniency with a free download you get for like resource. I'm going to look for that content and all the paid resource. It's so like more effective content to give it always for free. Then for an intro offer, which is sometimes free or one-time offer that on the door, then you can upsell it. Next up, in some cases, it does make sense to just run basically a call funnel that's directly promoting your main offer, but it is a very, very case-by-case basis, and that typically works the best when the market already wants what you have in its current state. So for example, in many instances with investment-style offers, you can just run it straight to your main offer. If it's a coaching offer and it's like an opportunity where people are already really interested in that thing, just run a call funnel and it will be pretty effective. Now, the thing that you need to keep in mind here is that it's always going to be very specific to you and what you're doing, your market, the team that you have, etc. So I have a few resources on the channel in terms of like getting your paid ads up from scratch, etc. I would also recommend that this is literally why I still have a job. So if you are struggling with this, if you want to scale your paid ads, if you don't know where to get started, or you don't know where to go next to basically scale to multiple 6-figure months, then feel free to check out the links in the description. Next up, once you have that funnel strategy dialed, you're going to need to know how to basically test and figure out your ad messaging. So what you want to do is go to the channel and go to how to make killer meta ads to get clients in 2025. That's going to run you through all of that. And then you're also going to want to get some funnel conversion rate optimization tips there too. Once you've got your strategy, your ads, your funnel, then you're talking about scaling your ad production and sales. This is where basically you simply need to know how to run ads properly, and scale ad accounts becomes incredibly important. Not that it wasn't important before, but basically once you're already running ads, you don't want to waste time on poor decision-making, where at any stage when you have something working, you need to understand what to do and when, because otherwise you can kind of fuck it up quite easily. So as an example, when to push your budget, when to test more creative, when to add new offers, when to grow the sales team, when to bring in retargeting strategies. And that is, like I said, it's basically why I still have a job. Because at any given moment, there are a million basic actions that you could take, and you want to basically know how to prioritize and what to do at each stage. So if you want to launch, you can get that done for a one-time fee in the description. And if you want to scale and you're not sure what to do next, you can get a free audit in the description as well. So go ahead and do that. Next up, the other thing that I mentioned was partnerships. So the final way of getting clients is partnerships. These can be really highly effective. I was talking the other day about partnerships. However, what you need to know in the TLDR version is pretty much in just finding people who sell to the same market as you with non-competitive services. So for example, if you sell paid ads and someone else sells landing pages, you can pitch them on referring clients to each other. Pretty straightforward, but in a lot of instances, what I've found is when you have a referral partnership with someone, a lot of times they won't send you any good deals at all, because most of the time they probably have a problem with getting clients as well. So you don't want to waste time getting partners that are just basically shit, and there's not any point in you kind of just basically like networking with each other for no reason. However, if you can do it right and you can find someone who's a real killer, then that might generate your next any client. So it's something to keep in mind. In essentiality, what I'm basically running through here is that if you want to sign 5 to 15 clients per month as fast as possible, this is all you need to do. Like bare bones fundamentals, this is all you need to do. You need to make 4 to 7 short form content per week, which can be done in 2 hours if you have an editor. You want to make 1 to 2 YouTube videos per week, which is, pretty quick. And you want to write 3 to 5 times to your newsletter and send them your best sales assets. And you need to learn to run ads to basically drive top of funnel. That is literally all you need. I hope it helps. Like, this is the simplest thing of all time. Of course, you can hyper complicate it like I have done up here, where you have the full marketing funnel. You know what? I would really recommend building something like this out if you're trying to scale to like 8 figures, where you get absolutely everything cranking. However, if you were just trying to sign 5 to 15 clients per month, you just want to sign 30 to 100K a month in new revenue, all you need to do is run your ads. However, if all you want to do is sign 5 to 15 clients per month and generate 30 to 100 grand a month in new revenue, all you need to do is run ads, learn how to run ads, make a bit of content to support those ads, have an email list and have a decent sales team, and you will be able to figure out, provided that you are putting enough focus into those ads. Like I said, it's literally the reason why I still have a job. So check out the channel, check out all my previous videos, and that will basically be able to tell you how you need to do all these things. But really, in terms of a fundamental strategy, this video should tell you what you need to focus on and how to do it. So off the back of this, I'm hoping that you'll be making a short form, you'll be making ads, you'll be making your YouTube videos, because really there's no excuse. This is the stuff that you need to do to break through. This we do with every single one of our clients in terms of getting them from A to B. And once they start implementing this for 3 to 6 months, they crack their paid ad, their content's doing pretty good. They never need leads ever again. And that's why I'm telling you this, because as soon as you do this, as soon as you start executing this, you start scaling your ads, that's when you're going to, basically be looking to work with someone like me. So the reason I'm telling you this, because you guys need to scale up using this specific process. And once you do that, we are going to have a lot of fun getting you to multiple 6 figures per month. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this simplifies a lot of the stuff that you've been dealing with, because I know there's a lot of bullshit out there about what's required, what you need to do to scale, what you need to focus on, etc. But this is basically the 80-20. If you just do this, and you just do this for 90 days, if you just do this for 180 days, you are going to get deals. You're going to get lead flow, and you are going to thank me, because all the other stuff's BS. Just focus on this and you'll be good to go.